Hi, everyone. I'm author Mari Mancusi, and I'm so excited to have my novel, New Dragon City, a dragon apocalypse book, as part of this year's Bluebonnet program. It's a special honor to me because I am a Texan. And so to know that my book will be read by Texas kids all over the state is super, super exciting. They asked me to do this video and to answer a few questions about the book. New Dragon City takes place in a future where dragons have appeared. And how does that relate to our world? Well, I think, obviously we don't live in a dragon apocalypse. If you look outside, you're not going to see dragons flying through the sky. You're not in danger of being flambéed, if you walk out your front door. However, society, people, no matter what setting they're in, are the same at their core. And so I like to do a fish out of water story. So you take our society, people that what would happen if you brought your classmates into a dragon apocalypse? How would they react? And I'm guessing a lot of them would react very differently based on who they are and who their history is. What sparked my interest in dragons? And I mean, why wouldn't you be interested in dragons? I'm sure a lot of you are dragon fans. I hope so. I just think, I've loved dragons since I was even a little kid. I find all these drawings from when I was younger, where I was drawing fire breathing dragons, even at like age 5. And so I think they're so majestic and huge, and they can be deadly, and like they could destroy us. But at the same time, there are stories from all over the world and all sorts of cultures where dragons and humans are bonded together. They form this special relationship. And so even though this creature could like kill you at a moment's notice, instead it could also become your best friend. And I think there's something powerful about that. And I just love exploring that dynamic. In fact, in New Dragon City, we not only have Noah's point of view, we also go into Ash's head and we get her point of view chapters. So we know how the dragons feel about the humans as well as how the humans feel about the dragons. And that was very important to me. The next question is, who is your favorite dragon from books and movies? And that's a tough one to narrow down because there are so many dragons that I love. I like Saphira from from Aragon. I like Smog from The Hobbit. I mean, he's greedy and not a nice dragon, but he's super cool. I like Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, the Dragonettes of Wings of Fire, the dragons in Game of Thrones, Drogon, he's really cool. It's hard to narrow down all the dragons, but I just love every iteration, whether they're evil dragons or friendly dragons. They're all just so cool. How is your family in the books different or similar to Noah's family? Or how is your family in real life similar or different to Noah's family? Uh, you know, I think that a lot of you can relate to Noah's family, or if it's not relating to the family, maybe have friends in this situation where there are two people estranged. So my parents got divorced, and a lot of the time I felt put in the middle of that situation. And so, one parent believes this and the other parent believes this, and then the kid is kind of stuck in the middle trying to deal with being, loving both parents and wanting to support both parents even though they're telling you very different things. And this could happen, like I said, as a friend group too. Like, you have a fallout with a group of friends, or two friends have a fallout, and suddenly you're stuck between trying to be the peacemaker. And that's very much how Noah is in this book. All right, the last question is, what advice would you give young authors as they learn to improve their skill? There's a very famous author you've probably heard of named Stephen King. And he said, in order to be a writer, you need to do two things. One is to read a lot, and the other is to write a lot. And I think that's so important. And sometimes we forget the reading a part of that equation. We all want to be creative, we want to be the storyteller, but reading stories helps us absorb how a story is told, what's important of a story. We can recognize the things we love in someone else's story and then just be creative. You don't have to write an award-winning literary novel your first time out. I certainly didn't. I wrote stories about my friends and, like having adventures, and then I would share it with them. And I wrote stories about my dog, and I wrote stories that I would never show another person, but I kept under my bed or on my computer. And, those stories are precious to me too. So not every story has to have a purpose or it has to be published to be good. It just means that you need to create. And as you're always creating and writing new stories,